Hey dudes, and welcome to my video. This is about fitting the Gotoh G1996T tremolo to a Yamaha RGX. I think it's a 98, bought it from Japan, pretty much sight unseen, but if you have a look here, the tremolo is actually fouling the body in this corner. And the reason for that is I had it in for a service recently, and rather than put in the Gotoh pole pieces, I'll show you what they look like. The technician simply modified the existing ones, but by doing that, actually came in. So these are the studs. So in order to fit these studs, basically these are 7.5 mil, and these need a 10.5 mil place, need to be whacked into the body. And it's also an issue that Gotoh bridge is really long, and it may not actually be thick enough in here to sink those posts into. So in terms of clearance, the holder here just clears enough. I'd probably impinges the upward movement as well. In terms of the tremolo, but yes, definitely contacting here. In fact, a bit of the paint is actually peeling away in that area. So why is that? Well, let's look at the original TRS Pro. So this is on my 721 DG, and as you can see, the posts are set further back from the tremolo. See, and the other bad thing about this one is the gold's wearing off. So, 22 years or whatever, blood, sweat and tears on this one. But I do eventually want to replace this one with a gold Gotoh. So what I'm actually going to do today is take off that bit of wood, and also I'll take off a bit on the back and just see if I can get a bit more clearance for the bar. So down doesn't seem to be an issue, but pulling up on it definitely does, and it's a fantastic tremolo apart from that. So I'm just going to mark the area that I need to take out. So I'll probably just make this area square that wasn't square before, and I can just do this with a simple multi-tool. You could probably do this with some tape at home. I'm just going to colour it in and then go out the back and sand it off. So I just marked it in there. So it's a tiny amount of wood. So I'm just going to use my multi-tool to go out the back and shave that off, and then hopefully we'll have a proper flea floating trem. So what I basically did is I just used a hammer and chisel, knocked out the thing here. I've also just marked the area here with the chisel where I'm going to take out. The other thing I noticed is the tremolo things are quite loose in their holders, and they go into a sort of metal thing in there. So what I'm going to do is put some some plumber's tape around the tremolo posts, and I'll hopefully tighten up that grip in there. That's just what it looks like at the moment. And I'll sand out that little part there. to make it all nice and neat. So that looks like it's done the job. Also just finished the routing out of the cavity back here. Done that on a bit of an angle. I don't like having any exposed wood, as you can see in there, so I'm going to just mix up a bit of maple dye and some poly and just see if I can match it to that colour and just paint that little area in with a tiny paintbrush. So this is the test fit just before we do the thing, just see if there's any material we've missed. So as you can see, we've got 100% clearance on this side. I've got about a tone of bending up. I'll check on the back to see if there's any fouling on the rear. That's fine, there's no impingement there. There's no more material. No more material in that hole that's sort of any wood material. You see the block is actually going quite far forward. Now hopefully when we tighten up those posts with a bit of plumber's tape, that will push these posts just a bit further back. And having loose posts here, that does affect your intonation as well, so the distance from the strings to the bridge. So I'll grab that and finish that now. Time to do a bit of cleanup. This is one round of plumber's tape. Passing the wiggle test. That's pretty much all it just needs. Just one. Still pretty loose though. Okay, I'll do one more round just to make sure it's super snug. Try it with two. Got my Allen key. That's much better. So just added one more round to that. I'll just chop the excess off with the knife once I'm done. Turned it over and I'm just going to do a quick test on the colour. So mix up a tiny bit of maple colouring and some clear poly and just see what that's like. Just a very slight coloration. Just try a bit more exposed bit down there. This honestly isn't necessary, but I just like covering the wood up. Just shove it in the hole. Stuff's fully sandable, so if you do make a bit of mistake, you can always go back later and fix it up. I think let's do the front side. Just clean up any excess. Should all be sweet. Time for the moment of truth. My bridge all lined up. Ah! I got a bit too much tension. Suck off the strings just a bit. There's about 6 winds to get it to where it is here. Okay, there's no fouling. In terms of height, treble side needs a bit of adjustment. I'm just going to put the springs on. Well, I've got it like this as well. I don't like a lot of tension in my Floyds. So I only use 2 springs. I found even with 3 springs, it was like almost impossible to move this bridge. Let's have a look. The front. Each of these are about 6 turns off where they normally are. From the side, looks pretty good. Treble side's still too high. You're probably cringing as you're seeing me adjust this. It's going to scratch it. Just get it up to pitch. It's all tuned up. As you can see, the fluid is level. I had to adjust the screws tightly because that distance changed. In terms of tuning, E, it's dive bomber. Back up to E again. Perfect tuning. I want to thank everyone for watching this video. I do have to adjust the intonation slightly. That is open heart surgery compared to this, so I'll do that in my own time. But if you guys are thinking about putting this Gotoh fluid in your Yamaha, by all means do it. It absolutely rocks your socks off. And I'll be back with another video on the RGX-821 later. Thanks very much. Goodbye.